Alaupa, dear friends, welcome to part 2 of the March 2nd, 2013 letter from the Universe House of Justice to the Baha'is of Iran, also known as the Baha'is of the whole world, because there is such guidance here about one, how to respond to situations of oppression while upholding the Baha'i attitude and principle of political non-involvement, and also how to respond to the social needs of the world and our country, whatever country that may be, like how to be an active, constructive agent while also not falling into partisan behaviors. So, and not just offering like kumbaya platitudes. All right, you guys, part 2, jumping right in. As you know from your study of the Baha'i writings, the principle that is to infuse all facets of organized life on the planet is the oneness of humankind, the hallmark of the age of maturity. That humanity constitutes a single people is a truth that, once viewed with skepticism, claims widespread acceptance today. The rejection of deeply ingrained prejudices and a growing sense of world citizenship are among the signs of this heightened awareness. Yet, however promising the rise in collective consciousness may be, it should be seen as only the first step of a process that will take decades, nay, centuries, to unfold. For the principle of the oneness of humankind, as proclaimed by Baha'u'llah, asks not merely for cooperation among people and nations. It calls for a complete reconceptualization of the relationships that sustain society. The deepening environmental crisis driven by a system that condones the pillage of natural resources to satisfy an insatiable thirst for more suggests how entirely inadequate is the present conception of humanity's relationship with nature. The deterioration of the home environment, with the accompanying rise in the systematic exploitation of women and children worldwide, makes clear how pervasive are the misbegotten notions that define relations within the family unit. The persistence of despotism on the one hand and the increasing disregard for authority on the other reveal how unsatisfactory to a maturing humanity is the current relationship between the individual and the institutions of society. The concentration of material wealth in the hands of a minority of the world's population gives an indication of how fundamentally ill-conceived are the relationships among the many sectors of what is now an emerging global community. The principle of the oneness of humankind implies then an organic change in the very structure of society. What should be stated plainly here is that Baha'is do not believe the transformation thus envisioned will come about exclusively through their own efforts, nor are they trying to create a movement that would seek to impose on society their vision of the future. Big too. That's really big. So it's not exclusively Baha'i, and we're not trying to create a movement that would seek to impose on society their vision of the future. Every nation and every group, indeed every individual, will to a greater or lesser degree contribute to the emergence of the world civilization towards which humanity is irresistibly moving. Until unity will progressively be achieved, as foreshadowed by Abdu'l-Baha, in different realms of social existence. For instance, unity in the political realm, unity of thought in world undertakings, unity of races, and unity of nations. As these come to be realized, the structures of a politically united world which respects the full diversity of culture and provides channels for the expression of dignity and honor will gradually take shape. So as these different forms of unity come to be realized, the structures of a politically united world, some examples of which, unity of social existence, unity in the political realm, unity of thought and world undertakings, unity of races, unity of nations. As these come to be realized, the structures of politically united world which respects the full diversity of culture and provides channels for the expression of dignity and honor will gradually take shape. The question that occupies the worldwide Baha'i community then is how it can best contribute to the civilization building process as its resources increase. It sees two dimensions to its contribution. The first is related to its own growth and development, and the second to its involvement in society at large. Regarding the first, its own growth and development, Baha'is across the globe, in the most unassuming settings, are striving to establish a pattern of activity and the corresponding administrative structures that embody the principle of the oneness of humankind and the convictions underpinning it, only a few of which are mentioned here as a means of illustration: that the rational soul has no gender, race, ethnicity, or class, a fact that renders intolerable all forms of prejudice, not the least of which are those that prevent women from fulfilling their potential and engaging in various fields of endeavor shoulder to shoulder with men. That the root cause of prejudice is ignorance, which can be erased through educational processes that make knowledge accessible to the entire human race, ensuring it does not become the property of a privileged few. That science and religion are two complementary systems of knowledge and practice by which human beings come to understand the world around them and through which civilization advances. That religion without science soon degenerates into superstition and fanaticism, while science without religion becomes the tool of crude materialism. That true prosperity, the fruit of a dynamic coherence between the material and the spiritual requirements of life, will recede further and further out of reach, so as long as consumerism continues to act as opium to the human soul. Oh my gosh, I'm reading that fragment again. Prosperity. Okay, that true prosperity, the fruit of a dynamic coherence between the material and spiritual requirements of life, will recede further and further out of reach as long as consumerism continues to act as opium to the human soul. That justice, as a faculty of the soul, enables the individual to distinguish truth from falsehood and guides the investigation of reality. so essential if superstitious beliefs and outworn traditions that impede unity are to be eliminated. That when appropriately brought to bear on social issues, justice is the single most important instrument for the establishment of unity. That work performed in the spirit of service to one's fellow human beings is a form of prayer, a means of worshiping God. Translating ideals such as these into reality, effecting a transformation at the level of the individual, and laying the foundations of suitable social structure is no small task, to be sure. Yet, the Baha'i community is dedicated to the long-term process of learning that this task entails, an enterprise in which increasing numbers from all walks of life, from every human group, are invited to take part. All right, my friends, please join me in part 3. That's that many fingers. We're going to roll over in the playlist. This is so amazing, and this letter just like so articulates just what a beautiful faith that we're a part of. Catch me in part 3, and like and subscribe and all that jazz. Okay.